Hello, star friends. You're watching EarthSky. I'm Deborah Byrd, and I've got five must see sky marvels in April 2025 to tell you about. So get ready to mark your calendars and to see some wonderful and interesting things in the night sky. And number one is this, the year's smallest full moon. The April 12, 13 full moon will be the smallest, faintest, and most distant full moon of 2025. It'll lie just over a quarter million miles away. That's about 400,000 kilometers away to our friends. We hope you're still our friends outside the US. And it'll be the second of three full micromoons or especially small full moons in a row. So you might look at illustrations like this one and get the idea that the moon's orbit around Earth is a circle, but it isn't. It's an ellipse. It's like a circle that someone sat down on. So the crest of this full moon will fall at 7:22 CDT on April 12th, and the moment of lunar apogee when the moon is farthest from Earth for this month will be at 5:49 p.m. the following day. This monthly apogee of the moon falls closer to a full moon than any other in 2025, and that's why this is our most distant and smallest full moon of the year. But will you notice the extra small size of the April 12, 13 full moon? Like all full moons, this one will rise opposite the sunset, appear highest in your sky at midnight, and set opposite the sunrise. So just know that this smallest full moon probably won't look any smaller to your eye. It's only about 5% smaller on our sky's dome than usual. You'll need a photographic comparison like this one from EarthSky community member Pruthu Vanara in India to see the difference. But here's what's marvelous about this full moon. This full moon will cast less light on the landscape than usual. And you can notice that, especially if you're out in the country. The full moon overnight on April 12th will be 11% less bright than an average full moon. And by the way, this full moon, which is sometimes called the pink moon, will float close to a bright star, what astronomers call a first magnitude star. I pronounce this star name as Spica. Others call it Spica. It's in the constellation Virgo, the maiden, which is seen as a harvest goddess. Spica is seen as an ear of wheat held in Virgo's hand. So if you look outside on the night of April 12th, you'll see a very bright star in the moon's glare, and you might have to look carefully to see it in that glare, as you do in this photo, which is by our friend Astro Bob, or Bob King, who writes for Sky and Telescope magazine. From some places, the moon will cover Spica, so if you look that night and don't see a bright star near the moon, it could be because the star is behind the moon. Moving on, number two, evening planets. We don't have the parade of planets in the evening sky that we had earlier this year, but know that nothing in space ever stops moving. And in April 2025, Venus won't appear, oops, we do still have two perfectly wonderful planets in the evening sky. And those are the two planets next outward from Earth in orbit around the sun, Mars, the fourth planet, and Jupiter, the fifth planet. So Jupiter and Mars are both easy to see. They both travel along the ecliptic or sun's path across our sky, shown as a green line across this chart. So you'll always be looking for planets along the same path that the sun travels. And notice that Jupiter is brighter. It's the brightest object in the evening sky now, so you can't miss it. Mars is fainter. Mars is small, and we're flying ahead of it in orbit right now. So the distance between us and Mars is increasing. But still, Mars is pretty bright this month. It's brighter than most stars, and it's still noticeably red in color. I'm recording this on April 4th, and if you have a clear sky on April 4th and 5th, you can identify Mars easily as the brightest object near the moon. For day-to-day charts like this one, come to the Tonight page at earthsky.org. We have a new chart for almost every night of the year. Okay, are you ready for marvel number 3? It's the zodiacal light. This mysterious light takes its name from the word zodiac. And by the way, I'll be talking about what the zodiac means to astronomers in a future live stream, hopefully as soon as next week. But here we're talking about the zodiacal light. It's a mysterious pyramid shaped light in the west when the sky darkens after sunset in the weeks around the March equinox. So it's still a good time to see it. That's the case if you're in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, look for this eerie light along your eastern horizon before dawn breaks. To see the zodiacal light, you need a dark sky. And in April 2025, if your sky is dark enough, I'm thinking you might find Jupiter in the midst of the zodiacal light each evening. So you'll see it much as in this 2023 photo by EarthSky community member Michael Flynn. I think there's two planets in that photo, Jupiter and Venus. This light, this strange pyramid of light, is really sunlight reflecting off dust grains that move in the plane of our solar system. Now, number 4 of April night sky marvels, the meteor drought comes to an end in April with the Lyrid meteor shower. So, sky watchers speak of this meteor drought. It happens every year between the quadrantid meteor shower, which is around New Year's every year, and this upcoming Lyrid meteor shower in April. So, there are no major meteor showers in the early part of every year. But this month, the showers start again. So, yay. And you might know that most meteor showers are best after midnight. That's true of the Lyrids. The Lyrid meteor shower is active from April 14th to April 30th. So you might see some Lyrids anytime around those dates. And in 2025, the predicted peak of the Lyrids is at 16 UTC on April 22nd. So, what does that mean? When is the best time to watch? Here's what you need to know. The radiant point for the Lyrids is located in the constellation Lyra the Harp, but you don't need to know Lyra or be looking at Lyra to see the meteors. They'll appear in all parts of the sky. But there's one thing you do need to look out for, and that's the moon. A fat, waning crescent moon, kind of like the one in this photo by Joe Kingor, will be in the sky on the peak morning, the morning of April 22nd, during 2025's Lyrid meteor shower. So the best time to watch will be late evening on April 21st until the moon rises a few hours before dawn on April 22nd. And after the moon rises, you can still watch for Lyrid meteors, but you just won't see as many. Here's a tip. Of course, you need a dark sky, but also try placing yourself in a moon shadow. That's the shadow of a barn or a mountain to watch the meteor shower. And as always, we have more details at earthsky.org. The Lyrid meteor shower is classified as a moderate strength event, and sometimes it produces bright fireballs. Number 5. Now, this really is a marvel. Morning planets. You might know that the brightest planet is Venus, and it's now back in the morning sky after traveling between the Earth and Sun on March 22nd, 23rd. So Venus is up there every morning now, blazing away in the east before sunrise. And as April 2025 progresses, there will be at least one and maybe two other bright planets up there with Venus. They are much fainter, Mercury and Saturn. So if you do want to catch Venus and maybe those other fainter planets, a great time to look will be around April 24th when the moon will be passing near them. You'll be looking toward the east, the direction of the sunrise, and note that Venus is by far the brightest and easiest to see. So I often see Venus from my back deck, and I live practically downtown in a big city. Saturn is much fainter, but even from the city, I can see Saturn. The one you might not see from the northern hemisphere is Mercury. We include it on our chart because we've seen some misinformation out there claiming that this is Mercury's best morning apparition for 2025. It's not from the northern hemisphere, but it is from the southern hemisphere. Let's keep going. By April 25th, the moon will have moved. The moon will be waning then, about to drop into the sunrise glare. And also note April 27th. That's the day that Venus will be brightest in the morning for all of 2025. On April 27th, the moon will be gone, but then you'll need to let blazing Venus itself guide you to Saturn, which will be right next to it. And again, will you see Mercury? Probably not from the northern hemisphere, but even if you're in the northern hemisphere, you can always try scanning along the eastern horizon with binoculars. So there you go. Five marvels in the April sky. A micro moon on the night of April 12th, Jupiter and Mars in the evening all month, the mysterious zodiacal light in the west after sunset, the Lyrid meteor shower peaking overnight on April 21st, 22nd, and very bright Venus plus Saturn, but probably not Mercury if you're on the northern half of Earth's globe in the east before dawn. Thanks for joining us. We have charts and more at the Tonight area at earthsky.org. If you enjoy these presentations, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. One Earth, one sky, Earth Sky.